This is a Porsche 911 997 Gen 2 GTS, and it has come to us for a number of upgrades. Welcome back to John Cleese Car Audio's YouTube channel. As I mentioned, this 997 Gen 2 has come in for an abundance of upgrades. Brief summary of what we have done today is Apple CarPlay through the existing PCM3 system, and it also supports Android Auto. We have added a reverse camera to the back of the car to help this customer with manoeuvring this, because the visibility out of the rear windows of these is pretty shocking. And because the front of the cars are quite low, we've also added a front camera so the customer can see low walls, curbs, and get as close as he can, but without chafing the underneath of this absolutely lovely motor. And then, if that wasn't enough, that gives the customer the functionality, but what also it's kind of needed in these cars is an additional layer of security, because even though this hasn't got keyless entry, it is still at risk of being stolen due to simply coding a key through the OBD port. So we have added a bit of security on this via Pandora, Storm and Immobiliser. Now if we get in the car, I think the next best part of this video is actually to show you what it all looks like, because enough of me talking about it, you want to see it in action. So let's get in the car and have a look. But before we actually go inside, my colleague makes a good point. Let's actually physically show you what the cameras are, because I'm sure aesthetics are important when you own a car like this. You don't want a camera looking too ostentatious on the exterior of your car. So let's go down and show you the front camera first. Now, if you look carefully, and I mean you're gonna have to look carefully because this is extremely subtle, the camera on the front literally just pokes out below the number plate just there. So this is actually the number plate I'm pointing at my finger here, and the camera is literally just there. That actually, believe it or not, gives a surprisingly good view below the actual car and also ahead of you. And you'll see that when we turn it on. Now let's go around to the back of the car and show you the reverse camera. We actually discussed a couple of options of reverse camera with this customer based on aesthetics, but as well as, more importantly, the actual operation of the camera. So we gave him two camera choices, one being slightly higher resolution, so with a larger body, and also a smaller camera with a little bit less resolution. The customer decided that the actual reverse camera quality was more important, so we've gone for the slightly larger unit here, but still flush fit. There's no actual angled bracket to consider. The body is here, and then this lens is quite clever. On the side here, there is a grub screw attachment which allows us to adjust the lens of this. So that means you get to decide if you want the camera looking directly down or looking a bit further back. Extremely handy if you had a tow bar, not on a car like this, but on another vehicle with a tow bar, you could actually choose to look at the tow bar view. But again, the viewing angle of this is incredible, which you will see. It sees down in front of me here, and it actually sees quite far back. But don't take my word for it. Let's go actually power the PCM system on and show you these cameras in action. So now we're inside this 997 GTS 3.8 version. I'm going to turn the ignition on, let the PCM system boot up. I'll just shut my window, see if that helps reduce any glare on the footage you're watching. So this is the PCM3 system here. My phone should automatically be connected, so we're going to wait for my connection to establish, and I'm going to get reminded of what button it is to switch into the CarPlay screen. What's that button, Max? Back button. Hold the back button down like that, and now it's saying connecting CarPlay because my phone's already connected. It's established the connection. Now this is the view of Apple CarPlay on the screen. Using a PCM3 screen, it's worth mentioning the resolution of this screen is VGA. It is very basic, so if you're particularly fussy about high res, this may not be the option for you. You may want to look at changing this PCM3 for a high res screen and have Apple CarPlay on that, but this customer was adamant he wanted to keep it original. So if you're really fussy like me, you'll notice there's a couple of jagged edges around the icons. That's not CarPlay's fault, that's not our fault, that's just the resolution of the screen. But that is me being very fussy. I'm used to a high-res screen in my own car, so it's just what I'm used to. But if we go into Waze, what more do you need? You've got navigation with live traffic working through the original touchscreen, and if you don't want to put fingerprints on the screen, guess what? You can also use the factory rotary dial to navigate through. So I can go on here and go on home and then click home. I don't have to even touch the screen. And if you don't want to use Waze for whatever reason, you can scroll across to the screen and then use Google Maps. And with Google Maps, which is quite a nice little touch, you can push the settings and you can actually go to satellite map, which is a bit more informative because you can see landmarks in and around your position. Now with Apple CarPlay, if you don't already know, which I'm sure you probably do if you're watching this video, you've now got access to Apple Music, Spotify if you use it, I use Tidal, so all the music apps you could ever want, as well as internet radio stations, because this vehicle didn't have DAB, so now he's got internet radio working all through the screen, which is as good as DAB, if not better. Now, you are going to want to see the reverse cameras in action. So now I'm going to start the car and give you a demonstration of the reverse camera. Put it in reverse. And now I've got the moving guidelines, left to right, just like the factory option would have been. And then when it goes into the middle position, it goes to the fixed static guidelines. Extremely clever bit of kit, so you know which way you're aiming if you're not sure which way your steering wheel's facing. Now when I mention how good the viewing angle is on this, it's that good that I can actually see a bit of the bumper left and right, or the number plate on the corners, and I can also see well, 3/4 of the way up that gate that's directly behind me. That is an incredible viewing angle. And then when you take it out of reverse, it then goes to the front camera automatically, and this front camera will appear for about 11-12 seconds and then automatically switch off. And again, like I mentioned, look how much you can see in front of you. You would never believe that was the view. I'll go to it again. Reverse on the rear, great view. Put it into drive, wait for a few seconds, comes up, and you can see the top of our workshop over there, even with the cameras right at the very bottom. So this customer's got a great view. The lines are quite relative to the position as well. So generally the lines you can use, the red lines are about 1.5 feet in front of the car, so extremely handy to park close to those curves when you're not sure if you're going to scrape over the top of them or not. Now, that's Apple CarPlay for the original PCM screen with the front and rear cameras. I did say this car had security as well. So I will quickly explain to you how the security works. I'll turn the car off for this so the engine noise isn't there. Pandora Storm. I won't bore you with all the technical details of this system because it is very simple. If the customer has got this key but he hasn't got this tag, the vehicle will not start. Simple as that. So if you were to keep these separately and your keys were stolen, the car would not start because it hasn't seen this tag. And these tags can't be copied. They're 128-bit encrypted, so they're extremely secure. You get 2 tags with the system. Well, when we supply an extra tag, it only includes one in the box, but we always recommend 2 tags just in case you lose one. You don't want to become stuck. But yeah, without that tag, it doesn't start. Simple as that. Pandora do a massive range of security systems, but this is the entry-level Storm, just designed to stop your car from being stolen. Okay. Now, I'm not really quite sure what else I can say. Anything else, Max?
We fitted a little magnetic bracket and a fast charging thing.
Oh yeah, I can't plug my phone in because I'm an Apple user, I'm a sheep follower, but the customer's...
He has an iPhone 15 Pro.
Oh, okay, I was assuming the USB, never assume guys, I was assuming the USB-C was for Android, but no, I'm still rocking an iPhone 12 here. So what we've also done is we've hardwired an iPhone USB-C 15 lead to ignition and put a little bracket here, meaning when he plugs his phone in, he also gets fast charging through this, and this is wired to ignition, so as soon as he turns the car on, his phone charges as well. You know, it's nice to have fast charging. As much as wireless charging is cool because there's no wires, but actually it's so slow and it heats your phone up, whereas putting one of these in, you'll probably get 50% of charge in less than 20 minutes. So it's exactly what you want when you're doing short journeys. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you anymore, I'm waffling on here, but this is the Porsche 911 GTS. The summary is we've added Apple CarPlay original screen, front parking camera, rear parking camera, and we've made sure the car doesn't get stolen. Simple as that. So if you've got any questions, you know what to do. Drop a comment. Make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. We appreciate the support. Send us a message on WhatsApp. Drop us an email. However you want to. We've got many ways of being contacted. My name is Connor. Max behind the camera. We hope you have a good weekend. See you later.